As technology improves, we've seen a huge rise in the number of products out there to make housework much easier.
While some products aim to automate the entire process, despite any shortcomings that might bring, the Osotek H100 Pro Wet Dry Mop Vacuum simply seeks to boost possible mopping performance while making the whole process much simpler for you. Of course, you're still doing the mopping for yourself, but with self-cleaning, reduced drying time, and the ability to wash at high temperatures, this device could greatly increase both your cleaning efficiency and power.
I'm William Worrell with MakeUseOf.com, and today we're taking a look at the Osotek H100 Pro Wet Dry Mop Vacuum.
The H100 Pro is a combination vacuum cleaner and mop that features an onboard water tank, self-cleaning roller and filter, and a base station that heats the water and dries off and stores some of your extra accessories. You also get a bottle of cleaning fluid and a measuring cup to use it with. The base station also contains a spare roller and spare filter, so that while one is in use, you can always have another to swap to at a moment's notice. Also included is this cleaning tool, which is not only really convenient for cleaning up the device itself, but looks quite threatening when you take the handle off, so you can use it to intimidate someone in a pinch. The process of using the H100 Pro is pretty simple. Just remove the water tank on the station, fill it with a ratio of 1 part cleaner to 40 parts water, and then pop it back in. The device has buttons on the handle that you can press to fill it with fresh water, and once it's in the tank and at full temperature, the screen on top will let you know when it's ready to start cleaning. You also have voice prompts included that will let you know when the water is filled up and hot, as well as when it gets too full or dirty and has to be cleaned, but you can turn them off using the voice button on the back of the device.
In practice, this system works remarkably well, but it does come with one or two minor niggles that are worth knowing. The most obvious problem with our sample version of this product is that the voice commands aren't quite right. They'll go off at random times and try to signify the wrong sorts of things, and although the manual says they can be turned off, so far we haven't been able to do so they'll just keep going forever. Weirdly, one of the voice prompts talks about Wi-Fi connectivity, but as far as we can tell, this device has no Wi-Fi enabled features, so it's a bit baffling really.
It's also worth pointing out that this is a pre-production prototype model, which is probably why it has this error. You might also notice that some of the black paint has been coming off of the model. This isn't a problem for the production units, so if you want a black one, you won't have to worry about it becoming scratched or damaged. Slight niggles aside, how does it clean? The answer is incredibly well. You have several different modes at your disposal, including an automatic mode that detects the right amount of suction and water to use, a sucking up only mode for clearing away water spills and plain dust, and the super mode, which sets everything to maximum power, just in case you've got a really stubborn stain that you can't get out. When it comes to regular cleaning, the H100 Pro has proven itself to do a great job, cleaning up both visible dirt and any invisible residue left behind by sticky substances, which is a godsend in kitchens and bathrooms. Part of the reason that it can do such a fantastic job is thanks to the water heating. While inside the base station, the clean water is heated to over 90 degrees Celsius in around 90 seconds, though if you're in the US, this could take a few minutes. Even when the water hits the ground, it's still at around 60 degrees Celsius, which not only helps to remove stains, but also promotes quicker drying, so you don't have to worry about slipping on your wet floors while cleaning. On the note of the USA's electrical standard of 120 volts, this is a multi-voltage machine, so with an adapter, it can be plugged in practically anywhere. However, remember that in countries with a low voltage, it will take much longer to heat water and run the self-cleaning program. The manufacturers have several suggested tests to put the Hoover through, including ketchup that has been dried on with a hairdryer. But the best one is Jam Apocalypse. With a name like that, you know we had to test it out. So, after accidentally cleaning up the first one without turning on my camera, I Jam Apocalypsed all over again, and the cleaner did a fantastic job of cleaning it up. Although it did leave the roller and internals of the machine in a bit of a state. Luckily, cleaning up the nooks and crannies of the device is pretty easy, mostly thanks to the included cleaning tool. There's also the self-cleaning function that did mostly take care of the problem, outside of some external sticky residue on the wheels and other internal parts. When you return the device to your base station, you can press this button to start a self-cleaning process. This pulls hot water into the roller as it spins, cleaning off dirt. Once this is done, it'll start using hot air to dry off the roller so that you know it's good and ready for another use. While this mostly works well, in the case of heavy messes there is definitely some residue left behind, specifically in this part of the machine. The other test, the one that included dried on ketchup, was another rousing success, with the only slight downside being that my kitchen smelled like hot ketchup for a solid week after this was done. Once again, the bigger messes did make it necessary to clean some of the internal components. However, this shouldn't be a problem for most people. Realistically, the chances that you'll need to clean up messes of this magnitude regularly are pretty slim, unless you live in a literal zoo or children's TV show cafe. For most average cleaning jobs, the self-cleaning and drying routines do more than enough.
It's worth pointing out that the Osotek H100 Pro Wet Dry Mop Vacuum is intended primarily for use on hard flooring. All of the videos and pictures that the manufacturers put out there showing this device in use is showing it used on uncarpeted floors. And with the hot water technology, chances are that you'll just end up with a wet carpet or rug if you try to use it on those surfaces. That's not to say that you technically couldn't use it on a carpet or rug, but you do so at your own risk, because that's not really what it's designed for. You could get away with just using the suction-only mode, of course, but at that point you might as well just buy a normal vacuum cleaner.
You might be wondering how the vacuum part of this thing works, and the answer is mostly very well. It's not as powerful as a dedicated Hoover would necessarily be, but for hardwood floors it does a great job. There's a chamber inside the water tank where solid matter ends up to keep it separate from liquid. You can suck up most stuff without too much trouble, though it does struggle with longer hair. The only thing to note here is that you have to make sure you approach each section of the room you're cleaning from the front, as rolling backwards over debris seems not to do too much. So, is it a perfect product overall if it's such a great cleaner? The answer is not quite. That's not to say that this isn't a great success, but there are a few caveats that you have to bear in mind. First of all, it's motorised to make cleaning easier, but this means if you're going over the same spots, you'll either have to drag it against the motor or lift up the entire Hoover to make a second pass. That comes to the next minor issue, which is the weight. This thing is heavy, and you'll really start to feel your arm getting tired after a few minutes of cleaning. It's not an issue if you're relatively strong, but this isn't the product to be getting your granny for her next birthday.
Having said that, the Osotek H100 Pro Wet Dry Mop Vacuum does what it set out to do by providing an almost unparalleled cleaning experience.
When it comes to shifting tough stains, from dry ketchup to random dust and particles, and yes, even jam apocalypse, you'll struggle to find a better product for the job. The extra weight makes it a bit tougher for older folks to use, but the self-cleaning feature and the ability to fill the towel with water for repeated use make it a much more convenient experience than regular mopping, on top of just doing a better job.
Thanks for watching our review of the Osotek H100 Pro Wet Dry Mop Vacuum, and a big thanks to Osotek for sending us this product to cover. If you liked the video, please leave a like as it helps our channel to grow, and subscribe for all of our future videos to be sent straight to your inbox. You can also check out the links in the description to find our website, where you'll find loads of tech-based articles and guides, as well as the written version of this review.